Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome back in this series of Laravel Eloquent Relationships. Today we are going to talk about one-to-many relationship. A quick reminder, remember in the previous tutorial we talked about one-to-one eloquent relationship, where we talked about belongs to and has one relationship. So in case you haven't watched that video, I recommend you watch that first. So let's get started. By going in app, then in there you will find models. We have this address class, and this address model belong to this user model. In address model we have created this user function, and it returns belongs to relationship for user model. So in this user model has one address. For that, here we have created this address method that has one relationship. Now let assume this user has more than one addresses. Now we are going to create another method, addresses. Then here we will say return this hasMany, then address class. This is all we need here. So here we have many relationship that going to return user addresses. Now in web root, here we can pass addresses. And here user. Here we want user addresses. Now here let's comment this one. Let's use this for each loop we have created. And then here we have printed this user address. Now here we going to create another for each loop. $user then addresses as address. Then here we print address country. Yeah, this all we need here. By refreshing we have each user has one address. Now let's add some more address for user. I'm doing this manually, but you can also use Tinker. If you don't know how to use Tinker, let me know. I will show how to play around with it, because in the future sometime we will be using Tinker instead of adding data manually. Now refresh, you see we have two addresses for this user. Now we are going to dump this user. And refresh. Right here in the relations we have addresses relation, and this returns a collection of two address. Remove dump to bring back our info. And that is what we printed right here, as you can see. Similar to this hasOne relationship. Here in the second parameter we can use or pass the foreign key, which is user ID, and this is the foreign key in address model. That will be needed when in address table. Right here we have different column name like this. But here I have to use username like this as appear in database. And here you have to use user ID like this. Now in here in the third parameter we can pass ID, and this is ID is the local key in the parent user model. Now if we refresh, it's going to work the same. Now we are going to see one more example. I'm going to create a post model, and that post model belong to user, and that user may have more than one post. And that is similar to this user and address relationship. Now in this example we are going to see some useful methods. So in terminal we are going to create post class and its migration like this. And now we have this post model. And down here we have post migration. So now this post table belongs to the user. Now here I will add another column, and this is user ID, and make it nullable. This user ID is nullable because this post can be created by a guest user. In that case this post user may not belong to a user. So this user ID column will be null. Next here we will need another column title. Now in post mode I will create belongsTo relationship. User function. Return $this belongs to. Then user class. Now let's add some fillable. User then title. Then in the web root we are going to create another root. Before we keep going on, let's add some posts in the database. Now we do have 2 posts. Back in the web root, let's copy this one and do some changes just to save time. I'm going to remove this. Because we want posts created by each user, that is why we make changes and use post. Here we are going to use post class. Now we are going to create this posts index blade file. Let's grab mockup from here. Here in this for each loop. Add posts here and as $post. Then here post and title. And down here we will post username. Now let's check in browser. Let's see what is wrong now. Okay, I forgot to change this user and add posts. Now it's working. Here we have the post title and its user. Okay, now let's say we have one or more posts where the post created by the guest user, by that the user ID will be null. Now let's add one more post manually. Now after refresh we get the error of trying to get property name of an object. Now let's first dump and see this user. It's null. Actually the error is right here where it is null. So to solve this error we are going to use Laravel helper function optional. Optional like this here is when object is null. Let's first comment dump function. This time it work with no error. For the first two posts we have username and for the third one we have no username. So here in Laravel we can use with default method in this belongTo relationship. Here let's pass name guest user. Now once we refresh we get guest user on the third post. Here even when we remove this optional method it will also work, as you can see in the browser. Now let's create hasMany relationship in users model for the posts. Here we pass post class. Now here in the web root. Here we will say $users equal then add user class then get method. Back in the user's index blade file. Instead of using address here, I will pass posts as $post. Then down here we will print post then title. Now here we will print all users with their posts. I have to pass here users. Now we have 2 users with post. Let's add some more posts for these users. Once you refresh, you see we have 2 posts for the first user, then 1-to-1 for the second and the third users. Now let's say we want only users who has created posts without those with no users. To implement this right here, we can say has method posts then refresh. We will have only these users with posts. Now you are getting the result. Here we can also say users who has 2 or more posts. No, you should see only this user. Here we go, we have something. Let's remove this to bring back all users with or without posts. Now here we can also add some conditions like fetch those users who has created posts where posts title has number keyword. In that case, because we have every post title has number, we will have 3 users. Now here we say where has in here posts then function. Title. Like. Number. There is a mistake somewhere. Change this dollar to %sign. Then here we go. Now we have those user with posts with number keyword. Let's see those users who doesn't created any post. Here we go, we have only 3 users and not created any post. Guys, this is all in this video. We covered how to implement one-to-many relationship in Laravel. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.